Hi, welcome to GiveGetService. In this video, I will show you how to get started with GiveGetService. When you log into back office in GiveGetService, this is the screen you will see. Here you will manage all the settings of GiveGetService. To the left, you have three columns: locations, services, and users. And to the right, you have client channel and provider channel. I will discuss more about channels in the next video. The three columns to the left are the resource columns. With these resources, you configure everything in GiveGetService. If we start with the users, everybody who's going to be using GiveGetService will need a user. You create a user by clicking the plus sign, and you get a Create User dialog. At the top of the dialog, you see Create Individual and Create Group as radio buttons. I will start to show you what Create Individual means. Create Group will come after. Each user needs to have a username, and it needs to be unique. Not only within your company, it needs to be unique within the whole of GiveGetService. So, an email address would be a good choice here. If the person who you're going to create an account for does not have an email address, then you need to find a unique username. I'm going to create a user that I call John C. The username is just what he uses to log in. On the next row, you see name. This is the real name of the person, or the way you want the person to be shown in the situations within GiveGetService. I call him John Cleaner. And this person does not have an email address, so I will skip that and I will press create. There. Now I've created my first user after my admin, my own user. If I double click on a user, I will get a change dialog where I can change information about the user. The username cannot be changed. It is locked after the first creation of the user. But you can change the name, the email, and you can set a new initial password for the user. When you first created the user, there was a preset password given to the user that he will use for his first login. When he does his first login, then he is required to set his own password. This is to get the highest possible security in the system. You can make the user an admin. If you click this checkbox, that means that the user can go into back office and keep configuring the system and create more users. If he is a normal user, he would not be an admin. Here you also can enable him. That means that he can log in and use the system. If you check this, remove the check, then he cannot log in anymore. But normally they should be enabled. And then you can give him his email address if he later gets one, or keep that blank. That's fine. And then you press update if you changed something. You can press delete if you want to delete him, or just cancel to close the dialog. When it comes to services, these are the most central parts of GiveGetService. It's the beginning of the sentence when you ask somebody for something. Sweep the floor, or wet mop the floor, or clean. So these are the verbs in the beginning of a task. Then you have locations, and the locations they are where this is going to happen. And this can be used in several different ways depending on the service you have created. Wet mop floor in conference room 1. That's fine. Sweep floor, conference room 1. Clean, conference room 1. And that's all fine depending on how you interpret the tasks in your company. Maybe clean is fine. Maybe you need to be more specific and have different or more kinds of services. I will create a service, an individual service that I call fill paper. And it's going to be placed in alphabetical order. Fill paper might feel weird looking at conference room 1. For some companies or customers, that might be exactly what they want. But normally, the services would need a location that matches. So fill paper would require a location called printer 1 maybe. So now I have fill paper in printer 1. That could be a task that somebody could perform. So by creating these services and location combinations, you actually are creating the templates for all the tasks that's going to be done later in the system. They need to work webmod floor in conference 2. And you can add on some structure to this. You can create groups. So maybe you create a group. Now I will check the second radio button here, and I call this cleaning tasks. Great. Now I have a different kind of service. And into this service, I can drag all the things that has to do with cleaning. And they will be put into this group that we would call it. This could be a nice way to keep your tasks in order so you know what they are about. Let's create another group called Technical Services. Create. And I will put fill paper there. So I can group the services that I need on what type they are. These groupings can be done on locations and on users. So I can make a group for locations. I call these rooms. And I will put conference room here and the other room 2. Now I have my 2 rooms. I'm going to make another group called machines. And I'm going to drag printer 1 there. So I'm starting to make a structure on how I will use the system really. And if I decide that rooms is not correct, these are conference rooms, I can double click on the group and get an update. And I can get this update dialog on each one of these locations, services, and as you saw, users. So I will rename this group conference room update. And now it places itself on the top due to the alphabetical sort. This is the way you should go about building your services and locations. And locations can be physical locations, they can be machines, and they can actually take any form that makes sense together with the service name. So this was a quick start on how to use GiveGetService. And when you have created a few of your services and locations, you are ready to start to put them into the channels. I will discuss that in the next video. Thank you. Bye.